neutralize, contain. Archive. NCA Foundation Chronicles Prologue. The beginning there is no entrance to the NCA Foundation. You don't knock on the door. You wake up inside it. And so it was with Eric Lorne, a man with no past, no criminal record, no family. A random guy who woke up in a white room, wearing a gray jumpsuit with a number, hashtag 00500, the screen on the wall flashed, welcome to level 0. Test protocol in progress. Unsure of where he was, Eric barely had time to ask before a door opened and 2 armed soldiers escorted him to what they called Observation Chamber C. Inside, there was only a chair. And a mirror. Sit down and face the entity, said a man in a lab coat on the other side of the glass. What entity? Eric asked. You'll know when she knows you've seen her. Chapter 1. The Disposable Class at the NCA Foundation. Access levels define the value of a life. Level 5. Senior Scientists and Unit Directors. Level 4. Armed Agents and Containment. Commanders. Level 3. Lab and Intelligence Technicians. Level C. Security and Cleaning Personnel. Level 1. Internal. Administrators and Bureaucrats. Level 0. Guide subjects with permission. That's who Eric was. Disposable. Thrown into rooms with unknown creatures. Some could look into your soul. Others mimicked the voices of loved ones. Some only appeared when you believed them, and every time Eric came back alive, a new question was asked in the system: how did you survive? Chapter 2. The Entity's Ignition. NCA. Location. Underground Block G13. Description. A human figure that appears on CCTV footage, but not on site. Anomaly. When someone watches the video, the figure begins to move around inside the room, even though it is empty. On the third replay, the figure is behind the viewer. Eric was set to watch the tape. Once, twice, 3 times. When he looked over his shoulder, nothing. But the next morning, the recorded video showed the creature trying to attack him, and he dodged it before it touched. The analysts were obsessed. How did it know? Reflex. Instinct. No, it was more than that. Eric's brain seemed to detect entities before they fully manifested. For the first time, someone from level 0 had risen to level 1. The Foundation noticed Chapter 7. 3. The Black Elevator, now a level 1. Eric had access to the dead record sector. He discovered that hundreds of other people like him had died trying to interact with 087C, but the data about his tests was corrupted, with parts missing, names erased. What's more, there were references to a protocol AH-264 hidden between the lines of the reports. He questioned his superiors. He was ignored that night as he walked through the hallways, a black door that was never opened by itself. Inside, there was an old elevator with rotary buttons. It's one of them, 13, a floor that didn't even exist on the maps. Eric went downstairs. He found what seemed to be forgotten files from the very origin of the Foundation. Names of founders, codes of entities, sealed forever. And among them, a room. NCA, the Identity Giver. Chapter 4. The Entity that Gives Names in CA. OOOA was a floating sphere made of liquid glass. It spoke in echoes, which showed visions. It touched memories you didn't have. When Eric entered the room, the sphere said, "You have no name. You are not Eric. You never were." He didn't understand. But after long interactions, he discovered he had been an agent of the NCA itself many years ago, assigned to neutralize a time-manipulating entity. The mission failed, and he was used in an experiment called Reboot. They erased his identity. They reconfigured his mind and threw him into level 0. He was a test, a product of a mistake, but now he was evolving on his own. 13. To access internal systems, he began to free other, lesser entities in exchange for information. Some communicated through thoughts, others by binary code. One of them, called Ecosang.
I merged with him.
Through a pact, I give you a voice within the Foundation. You give me your flesh when you're done. Eric began to manipulate reports. He created fake agents. Rose to level 3, pretending to be his own supervisor. He manipulated the base's intelligence till he was officially part of the structure from the beginning. At level 4, he commanded the containment of a Class D entity that exploded words in the form of matter. He survived using a formula that only Entity 000A could have shown him now. He was considered a miracle, someone who survived the impossible. He was promoted to level 5 strategic command. Chapter 6: The Silent Owners. But there was something. Beyond level 5, few knew. The Foundation had a hidden leadership called the Archivers, 3 figures who never appeared, who approved all containment protocols, who knew where every creature was and knew why each human was chosen. Eric located them. They were hiding in the Prism Tower, accessible only through a mathematical code recited inside a room in CAOO. What? It dot, and discovered that the Archivers were already dead. They had died years ago. But their bodies still functioned. They were possessed by fragments of their own entities that they tried to contain. The NCA, in its arrogance, was slowly dominated by what it studied. Chapter 7: The new owner Eric did the impossible. With the data from room -13, the forgotten files, and the permission obtained through alliances with lesser entities, he activated the reset protocol. He erased the Archivers' records. He injected his identity into the core of the command system. He signed the future containment protocols with the blood of the entities he sealed. The next morning, systems displayed. General Director Lorne, maximum access, level, owner. He had risen from trash to throne. Epilogue: The last room today. Lorne commanded the NCA from a white room. It's full of screens. But I don't feel it. He knows that the true secret of the Foundation is not what it contains. It is what the Foundation is. An entity in its own right, alive and waiting for the next human. Stupid enough to think he is out of control, Lorne hears suggestions. From room 000. From elevator -13. From where the mirror no longer sees his reflection. You became the owner, but you never stopped being level 0. The end.